Hello, everybody, and welcome to Items On, a Melee podcast looking at your favorite players both on and off the sticks. I'm your host, Dowie Ethiopia Mengistu. With me today is no other than the man, the myth, the legend, Justice. Justice, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing good, doing good. I just saw that, in fact, you announced a new tournament and Friends, the regional, coming soon. Where's that located at? It's in Texas, right?
Yeah, that is in Texas. I have it. So it's going to be at FX. Have you ever watched Monday Night Melee?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's going to be at that venue in Dallas. And it's looking like Zamu's coming. We have some other people from like Jersey that might come, like Mont Money. It's going to be super sick. I'm stoked, honestly.
Dude, let's just jump into like what made you want to start a tournament up? I mean, we know you as like primarily a competitor, but we see you branching out into new different avenues, where it be social media, whether it be content creation
Yeah.
like your um, combo videos. Like, what made you want to go into tournaments now?
Because I kind of want to be able to do everything a little bit because it's kind of fun to like dip my toes in all the new stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it's like it's cool to build it off of off of a thing like and friends. That's not like and friends isn't just me. You know what I mean? So it's like it's more about everybody around me rather than just like my brand. So it's really cool to like put everybody on by hosting that, or yeah, by hosting that event. It's super cool. And I just love to branch out into all types of things and dip my toes in the water. So that way I can just like be more experienced overall. You know
who's
what I mean?
yeah, definitely. I definitely
Yeah.
respect that. Who started the and friends? Was that just you, or was that a whole conglomerate of people?
No, it was just me. Yeah, I do all the entire episodes or the entire series. I do it all on my own.
Really?
Besides, like maybe some cinematic stuff that G Dubs helps me with, I literally edit it all on my own.
And how much time does that take? I mean, that must be an insane amount of time because there's a lot
Yeah,
of
it is.
content.
Yeah, so with the actual just like and friends, like the official like and friends with all the parts and everything,
Hmm.
that took me about 5 months to make. You have to
Damn.
gather the clips from everybody, and then you have to, after you get all the clips from everybody, you have to edit it all down and find different like I literally had to make a Squid the Cats. I had to remake Squid the Cats combo video in his part for two because like it was one song that was copyrighted and wouldn't let me upload it. And I was like,
Really?
oh my gosh, yes, like the day before And Friends came out. So I literally had to like go back, redo it, and completely fix it up. So it takes a while, honestly. Yeah.
Was that something that, like, in terms of like making combo videos or making those type of YouTube videos, was that something that you were interested in before Melee, or was that something that once you got into Melee, you're like, I want to make these videos?
I was more interested in skating as like a teenager because I started melee in high school, like
Word.
yeah, like in 12th grade. But like it was weird because like I was in this like weird like limbo of like being a normie but also playing like a lot of melee, and it was just so awkward because like I would do all these normie things, but then there was also like people would question Smash, and I always had to explain it to them, and so I like would always watch skate videos and stuff like that, and I like kind of like when I started to play melee, I was like, whoa, like melee is really fast and fast paced, and it's like unique, kind of like how skating is in terms of the sport. So like eventually, I want to make combo videos, but I didn't start making them until 2020.
Really?
Yeah.
So you were saying that you started off as a skater. How long did you skate?
Oh, I didn't skate for very long, and
Word, word.
I wasn't good at it or anything. But my friends skated, so I just rode around with them. But I loved like skating content. It's inspired my editing a lot, like a lot.
I can actually tell like a little bit, like in terms of the music choices or like some of the visual impacts that you do. I could tell for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
so let's get into how you started on the melee track. I mean, you said that you started in high school. Let's get more into that. How did you begin?
So they had a Smash club at my school. It was actually really funny. So they had a melee club at my school, and I would originally the way I originally got into it was me and my friends would play at our friend Kaylee's house like a long like it's 2015 I think,
Hmm.
and we would play Brawl, and like we literally banned like Meta Knight and Kirby because they were broken. They had five jumps. It was so stupid, but we banned the playing against those characters. And so then like I was the only one who was like really competitive about it, you know. And so like I would like I hated losing, and so they're like, oh, Justice hates losing in Smash so much. And so I started to play. So then Smash 4 came out, and my mom got me a Wii U for Christmas. And my original tag, I was like 17, I made it, was GP, and it stood for Gamepad because I only used the Gamepad to play Melee, like that, or to play Smash 4. And then I went to the Smash Club, but it wasn't Smash 4, it was Melee. And I just tried Melee, and I originally was a Marth main, and I like loved it, so I just kept playing Melee.
And what was the like? Was there a moment when you said, "I want to be like, I actually want to dedicate time and effort to this game instead of just being like a regular old like video game"?
Man, I'm trying to think. Actually, yeah. So my friend Duff had a Smash tournament at his house. He literally hosted it, and this was happening during. He had like a Genesis 3 watch party slash bracket at his house, and it was literally free to enter. And I lost in it, and I was like so mad that I lost, and I was like, okay, well, I really need to get good at this game because the moving around in it is fun. So I need to find a way to get good at it. And so I actually, unironically, until I got a melee set up, practiced Smash 4 for melee. Like I would practice Smash 4 Marth and think that that would transfer over. It obviously didn't do anything.
Yeah,
But then we started to stay there late at night. Like our school was an open campus, so you really could just go and hang out there for as long as possible. So after school, we'd get out like 4:15, and we'd stay till like 8 o'clock, and we just grind melee all day.
really. That's so
Yeah,
sick. And this was
yeah,
high school at the time, you're saying?
yeah. This was high school.
And
Yeah,
where in the country was this?
Plano, Texas. It's like
Word. Okay.
yeah, Plano Senior High. It's like a giant school. I had to have graduated with at least like 2,000 kids or something.
Damn. Was
Yeah.
there like how many people were playing melee around like in that group?
Sometimes it was like sometimes we'd have like dry days where there really weren't that many people, but there were a lot of days where there were like 20 people, and we'd have to like depending on what it when it was, we'd have to literally go back to one of our houses and get setups and bring them back to be able to play that day.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was right next to the. Yeah, I remember, like it was right next to the principal's office and the and like the cop's office. You know, because I already had a school cop, and so he
Yeah.
would sit there and watch us play. It was really funny. And he'd hear us like cuss and shit, and he'd be like, "Hey, you guys need to stop" or whatever. You know, we said something stupid. It was
um
really funny.
so what was your first tournament in that high school setting?
Um, no, no, it was at Duff's house. That was my very first tournament ever.
Word.
Like, but it wasn't like a real event. I didn't go to a real tournament until about six or I can't remember. Like, it was like at the very end of the school year, and I started the second semester. So what, like from January to May,
Mhm.
and then in May I went to my first tournament at Monday Night Melee.
Okay, so you went straight into it then, because Monday Night Melee, they game
Yeah.
out there. They game out there.
Yeah, yeah, it was a crazy environment. I didn't know how crazy it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
So let's
yeah.
let's set like the parameters, I guess. So like describe like the Texas scene. I mean, the Texas scene is so huge, but like the scene that you're a part of, and like
Oh, Dallas.
yeah, like walking into
Yeah.
there the first time on a Monday Night Melee, like how was that experience? I mean, that's your first experience like in the Melee community like that is always something that you remember. I feel like.
So this is really funny because I was 18 barely at this time, so I
Hmm.
was a little troll and a little like a little shitter, and I I literally went. We came in and it was my friend Duff had just gotten done with some like I can't remember if it was prom or something. It wasn't prom exactly, but he was doing some extracurricular activity,
Yeah.
and he was wearing a suit to Monday Night Melee. Like he's a tall, 6'2", like ginger kid,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he was wearing a suit. And so me, Duff, and like three other people from the Smash community just walk in, and then people would ask me like, "Dude, why is your friend wearing a suit?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, this guy, he's a TSM scout. He's looking to recruit people." I was so mean. I was like, he's a TSM scout, and he's looking to like actually, sponsor 0 and 2ers. So you better be on your A game today. It was so stupid. It was so stupid. But I was still in high school, and most people just thought it was funny. But like, yeah, I went 2 and 2. I beat somebody that was pretty good my first time playing. I
Damn,
never went 0-2 or anything.
that's
Yeah.
impressive, honestly, to show up to your first like real tournament and go 2-2. Like,
Yeah, I was pretty proud of it. And then our friend Yuki, he's the goat. He literally got me like pushed me so hard in melee at the beginning. He started to really he like got like a PR win his first time entering there. He moved from MDVA to
mhm,
Dallas and came to our Smash Club, and he was like way better than all of us.
yeah.
Like
Um,
he's really good.
like you're talking about guys like Yuki, guys like Dove, like
Yeah,
were those the people that were really pushing you like or helping you like uh get into this community and find yourself in more of the competitive version?
they were like the gateway to it because then like the people that really pushed me into it were I met Jagged Cole.
Mm-hmm.
So Jagged Cole was the first person that I met who was not from my high school that I played melee with
Mm-hmm.
for the first time ever. We like talked at a tournament, and then I added him on Facebook, and he messaged me and he was like, "Do you want to go to FX and play?" Because FX, just so you guys know, I don't know if there's any like people in Dallas that are watching. There's a lot of times where you can just go there and play melee. They have setups on all the
Really,
time.
that's sick.
Yeah,
That is
so
so
so you
sick.
can just meet up there. And so he was like, "Yo, you want to play?" Because he had just been switching to Fox, and I was like, "Sure." And so we would go to FX like multiple times a week, sometimes during the Smash Four events,
Oh,
And
okay,
so
yeah,
yeah, so we would go to the Smash Four events, and we would play melee once the Smash Four tournament died down, and then we met this guy QSS. His name's Adam. He's like my best friend now.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we met him at the time, and we were all like memeing and just joking about like Little Mac because a Little Mac won the event for no reason, like out of nowhere, because
Wasn't
we had a
he
really big scene.
like Smash Four? Lil Mac was pretty trash, right? If I can
Yes, it
remember.
was
Yeah,
horrible. It
yeah,
was so funny because we were making fun of that game, right?
yeah,
Because like
yeah.
it was like one he won that weekly and then went 0-2 the next week because we're like, dude, like this game is so bad. So we made it like we thought it was really funny. So then we all started hanging out, and then Adam started hosting tournaments,
Yeah.
and yeah, it kind of just kept the ball rolling.
Did you ever continue with like Smash Four or Ultimate or anything like that? Or were you just on the melee track?
No, no, literally never,
I
literally never.
hey, I respect the grind, but it just ain't my thing either. To be honest with
Yeah,
you, yeah.
yeah. I touched melee, and it was like touching grass. I was like, word. It was fun.
Dude, so were you still a Marth main at this point? Because you said you were practicing Marth, or did you switch to Fox at this point?
I switched to Fox at that point. Okay, so I actually have I remember the exact day that I picked up. I solo main Fox because it was a dual main,
Yeah.
and then I was playing against Ark, who at the time was top 100,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, I think your Fox has a lot of potential, but your Marth needs a lot of work. And I was like, okay, he's literally just telling me not to play Marth, but he's not saying it.
Yeah, he's trying
So
to be
I'm
nice
just,
with it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So I was like, I can't put my attention to two characters, so I'm just gonna play Fox
Yeah.
the whole time.
And then like looking back at that, like I feel like choosing your main is like such like a serious thing. You know what I'm saying? Like when you made that
Oh yeah.
decision, was it like this is it for keeps? Like I'm just gonna grind Fox.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It was sad. I remember like going to do my solo, like my practice regimen that I would do every day, and I was like, wait, Martha isn't in my practice regimen anymore. I was kind of sad, and then I was like, whoa, Fox is just so cool, so it doesn't even matter, you know.
Dude, what like drew you to like Fox? I mean, I think like your Fox is nasty, doing some crazy shit. Like what made you want to push that character? Like what drew you into that?
SFOP. SFOP.
Yeah.
SFOP is another person who's inspired me a lot. Like a lot.
How
He's
so? How so?
so we met at a tournament called Ganon's Gauntlet in Louisville, and it's literally just this like it's almost like a hallway that's like maybe 30 feet wide max with
Mm.
just melee setups on each side of the wall. And I
Yeah.
see him, and we've literally never talked to each other before. And then I go up to him and I just start trash talking him. I can't even remember exactly what I said. And so then we sit on a setup together and we play each other, just trash talking each other. We
Yeah.
did not know each other at all.
Yeah.
And we thought it was super funny. And like it was kind of weird because like for the longest time like SFOP did not get rooted for in our scene, and neither did I. It was like you get rooted against like a lot, like like our region kind of likes the Sheik players and stuff, like
Really,
Bungo,
really.
Bungo, him, Yojo, yeah. So Like now everybody roots for SWAP, obviously, but like
Yeah.
it's like the crowd was a struggle, so we always had each other's back, and like his Fox inspired me a lot, and it was really easy to learn from him because it's right there.
Were you guys doing like training sessions together and stuff like that, or were you just meeting up in bracket type deal?
Not even. We would just talk about the game every time we were there because I was out of high school and he had 2 years left.
Mm,
So he couldn't come to tournaments as much because he lived like 45 minutes away. And then
word.
once he got his license, he started to come down more and he was beating bananas and stuff. And like,
Hmm.
then we'd talk every week and he'd give me advice before playing people so I could like actually win, you know?
That's sick. That's sick.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
now that you see SFOP like challenging for top eights at big time majors and stuff like that, does that push you and your limits of what you think you can compete at, or
Oh yeah, for
yeah,
sure, for sure. Well, because he's the one who always tells me like, you can do super good. You can like he tells me all the time that he thinks I'm good.
yeah,
You know, because that's something that I struggle with a lot mentally. Is just like, dude, I'm bad. And
hmm,
it's like a hard struggle to get over because like I just am. I like sometimes feel like I know what I need to do, but it's so hard to put my hands into motion and actually get them to do what I should.
yeah. I
Yeah.
feel like that mentality in terms of um, like oh, I'm not good enough yet, or I'm bad, or stuff like that. It's a mentality that you see throughout the whole ranks, like from the top to the bottom. Is that
Oh yeah, for sure.
like how do you deal with that? How do you mentally get ready for those feelings and accept them and push through them? I
I,
mean, what do you do?
I like so like once I get into competing mode and the way I deal with it is I keep myself completely stoic. I keep my posture really good and then I don't emote a lot when I'm playing because then my mind starts to race. If I like like go like where I like shake my head, the only emote that I want to do is nod my head while I'm playing to be like, yes, yeah, that makes sense. That happened because the when it'll affect me the most is while I'm playing.
Yeah,
Afterwards, if I say I'm bad, it's really not going to be that big of a deal to me. Like if I say, oh, I screwed up, I'm bad. So I just really try to like basically, if you tell yourself if you physically are stoic and like just like straight faced, usually you can kind of convince yourself emotionally that everything is fine and you don't let your mind race like that. You know what I mean?
yeah, definitely, definitely. I think that's something that a lot of people I think don't look at in their game is like their just physical posture, like what they're telling to their opponent too. I mean, like when I'm playing some guy who's like when he SDs or something like that, that just makes me feeling good. Like oh hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, exactly,
yeah,
exactly. You can't do that. Like if you watch JMOOC versus SPOP, it was game 5 last stock, and J-Mook didn't even know the set was over. He just sat there like
yeah.
robotic, took his water after every. It was insane, and that's what you have to do a lot of the time.
Dude, I honestly don't know how people can do that with a huge crowd behind him. I don't even think he was wearing headphones and shit. He was just there, like present in the moment, killing
He definitely could hear Salt and I's every word of
it.
me rooting like for SFOP. It was crazy. We were so close too. I felt so bad because I like have been editing for Jake, and so I felt so
Yeah.
bad. I was like, dude, but this is my boy. I gotta
Yeah,
root
you
for
got to
him.
write for your boy, dude. You got to write for your boy. How was Genesis? How was that whole thing? I mean, there's a lot. I didn't go, so I just saw all the online takes, and there was too many to count. Like,
Oh yeah,
what was it like
it
down
was
there?
lit.
Yeah.
It was lit. It was lit. It was an amazing tournament. I don't know. People complaining, it didn't even make sense to me. It was literally run so well. So
Yeah.
it was fun. There's Guild House before that tournament. I entered one of their like I entered their bracket. It was like a single elimination, like $30 pot winner takes all bracket, and I entered
Yeah, I
that.
heard
That was
about that.
super fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was so fun. I was lit that night.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Dude,
that was
that
a fun night.
like what do you think is like a good thing for people who might not go to like a bunch of majors and stuff like that? What's the best way to like maximize your fun at a major, you think? For like us two and twoers, you know what I mean? Guys who aren't like there to like try to get top eights or something like that.
I mean, first of all, don't be afraid to go to a setup and ask for friendlies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's like one of the most like if you're looking to have fun, like just specifically with melee and at the venue, visit all the vendors. Try to like talk, like sit at a setup with somebody and talk to them and meet them because you might just be able to make some new friend out of nowhere. That's how I met the people that I met. You know what I mean? Literally just like playing them. You meet so many people. I would also go to if there's any like after parties that are open, go to those. Like
Yeah.
Guild House was open every single night. You could just go and hang out.
Was that near the venue?
Yeah, yeah,
Word,
and
word.
there were setups, and it was literally like you can walk to it from the venue. It's like a 3 minute walk.
Damn, that's lit. That's actually sick.
Yeah, yeah, it's so sick.
What was your mindset going into Genesis 9? Like, what was your? Do you have any goals? Were you just trying to have fun? Like, what was the deal?
So I had been like having like a really big burnout with Melee because it was my I hadn't taken a break ever in the 6 years that I had been playing,
Wow.
and so I was like I had burnout for singles because it's just so mentally taxing,
Yeah.
and so I was like, okay, I'm only gonna play in doubles with Salt because Salt and I are static teams partners,
Yeah.
and we got 13th, which is not bad because that's the hardest doubles tournament of the year every year
Yeah.
consistently. We lost to IBDW and JMOOC and Ralph Dark Atma. Like those were our losses. They were not bad. So that my goal going into it was to really find myself as a competitor and see if I still had that fire for singles that I did before. And I did. As soon as I left and then like I started taking a break, I was like, yeah, I still have the fire for it.
How long do you think? I mean, I guess you said you haven't taken breaks, but you're saying you're taking a break right now, I guess, or like how long of a?
It's over now. I took like a week break.
Oh, that's it. Word.
Yeah, yeah,
Damn. So
yeah.
you just a grinder then.
Yeah, I am just
Yeah.
a grinder.
Yeah.
I'm a huge grinder. Yeah.
How do you refresh and rest when you've been grinding like for the whole year or something like that, and you want to jump into the next tournament? But like, what's your mindset like? I guess outside of the practice room, outside of the fucking tournament.
Yeah, usually I try to find a way. I usually set up a goal for myself at each event on what I want to do better, because it's not like I'm making top eights or anything yet. So like I kind of just like set up a goal of what I want to do this event because usually if I just set up a goal of like it's hard to explain. Like if I just set up a goal like, oh, I just want to win as much as possible, then it's just like it feels like it's kind of worthless because I should be looking at it as an improvement aspect because I'm not at the top yet and there's so much more to learn. So I try super hard to win, obviously, but
Yeah.
I go into it learning new things or like like trying to fix all my weak points and there's not a harder place to fix that than in tournaments. So like I can put that all to the test when I go to the event.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
I like that answer a lot actually. Um, I guess like reversing back a little bit to how you came up in the scene and stuff like that. What was the first tournament that you traveled out of state, or like because Texas is a pretty big fucking state. So what was the first
Oh
tournament
yeah.
that you left, and you're like, holy shit, okay, this is like completely new to me.
Evo 2018. I
Word.
was yeah, that was 4 years ago, or yeah, that was 5 years ago. Oh my gosh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I went to Evo 2018. I had a really bad flight at Spirit, back
Yeah.
back and forth. I wasn't even 21 yet. Like
Word.
so, like, and it was non UCF. It was such a poorly run event. I mean, like, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was so bad, and like there was non UCF, and then I had to play against an ice climbers from Texas who was
Really.
wobbler, and wobbling was still legal at this time.
Yeah.
And I remember I missed like 4 shield drops because it wasn't UCF, and I got like just grabbed and like wobbled like 8 times, and then I lost to Null Geo,
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
at that tournament. Yeah,
Yeah.
barely. We had such a close set. We were both so bad. It was so funny.
What did you learn anything from that, like traveling, or was it just like, all right, whatever? Like, because that sounds like sort of a mess in terms of competition, you know?
I just learned how big this and deep the scene is, and like I learned more that I just cannot sleep on anybody at all.
Yeah.
That was like my thing. I was like, I learned so much about not sleeping on anybody and being very vigilant of who's in my bracket at all times.
Do you think that like that feeling of being like, all right, I got to be on it on round one? Do you think that's like even become bigger now these days with slipping and everything? I feel like everyone is just so damn
Yeah,
good now. You show up to a
yeah, for
local and
sure.
everyone knows how to play.
Yeah, for sure. Easily,
Yeah.
easily, easily. Yeah, Slippy has made it like I think that a lot of people will underrate because like they're already top 20 or something, and they'll try to underrate and be like people haven't gotten that much better, but they have gotten so much better. The average player is so much better than they used to be.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I
Like,
totally agree.
the average player, like, he used to just like not SDI any of my up airs, and I would just like get a free staircase, and now everybody's SDIing them, and it's
Yeah.
just like so difficult.
It's actually crazy. Like I remember, like I started in 2017, and I just remember like the level back then to what it is now. It's just insane.
Yeah,
Like when someone
yeah,
shield, like I don't like in the locals, if people were, I mean, I was in Montana, so it was different back then. But like if someone shield dropped, people were like, oh shit, he's moving. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Now it's
yeah,
just like
yeah,
basic. Everyone's hitting their ledge dashes round one.
yeah, yeah.
Dude.
It's actually crazy. It's actually crazy. Like, it's I still four stock my round ones, but sometimes I'm like, dude, this guy like caught me off guard. Like sometimes he just zero to death me the first stock, and I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, what is happening? You know, it used to not be like that.
Yeah. So how have you been able to keep up with that? Because the meta has just been exploding. I feel like in terms of growth rate. Like, what's your game plan? Just using Slippy, just using those techniques that we've been talking about.
Yeah, Uncle Punch, Slippy, and the biggest thing is like, I mean, I learned this, in high school, like early in high school when I started to play basketball. So I was like, my coaches always told me there's always somebody working harder. There's going to be somebody who's working harder than you if you're not working hard. And I was like, okay, well, my mindset on it is it's very 1+1, and it's that if I am working hard and I care enough, then I will continue to grow,
Yeah.
and that's all that matters. I can't like help and like stop somebody else around me from improving. I can only improve as much as I can and try
Mm-hmm.
as hard as I can, and whatever happens happens. If the person who went 0-2 like 1 week beats me the next week and improves like crazy, I can't control that anyway, so I should just try to control what I can do, right?
Yeah, I totally respect that. Taking ownership of your own journey, I think, is really important.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk a little bit like when you want to practice something. Let's say like you got beat in a tournament by some character or whatever, and you want to work on something. Is your first thing to go watch VODs? First thing to hit Uncle Punch? What or
So
just
it depends. So if it's right after the tournament, a lot of the time, like if I rode with somebody else, like I'll literally just like rewatch the VOD on my phone on the way home,
mm-hmm.
and then I just go and ping for like a match, like ping for a specific character in Melee Online. And then I'm like, okay, I need to play against this character because this character is giving me trouble in X situations, and then I just put myself in those situations a lot and practice them until
Mm-hmm.
I'm better like at them the next week.
So like when you play friendlies, I think this is something that maybe like beginner players might like look over. When you play in friendlies, you have a specific reason and a specific thing you want to test out, the specific role or a specific option, right? It's not just like
Yeah,
gaming.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, I don't, unless I'm just literally just trying to have fun, I never just go into it and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna play and, whatever happens, happens. It's like, usually I have something specific that I'm working on. Like, and sometimes it's like a week at a time. Like right now, I'm just working on how I play on the ground and I'm being more grounded and not jumping as much because, like, I just panic and jump a lot,
Yeah.
is what I noticed. Like, I was playing Zombie yesterday and I was like, yeah, I just am so bad at playing on the ground.
Mm-hmm. What was the first tournament that you won, and how did that feel?
So it was like literally, I think it was like a week before COVID. It was like March 7th, and I played against SDJ. You know SDJ, the pup
Yep.
player.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was at a local at a comic shop, and we had played so many different times, and I had gotten to grands, and like he just would always win grand finals, and I finally, finally won grand finals over him. Like it was like, and it wasn't close either. Like I just won
Yeah.
pretty solidly
Fair
because
and
like
square.
I'd just been going back at the VOD over and over again, and I didn't even have net play at this point. I literally only solo practiced. That was
Really.
my only way of getting good. Yeah, as I watched VODs and solo practiced. Um, yeah, and
Damn.
so that was my first tournament win, and I was really happy. Like finally.
What did that like change anything in terms of your perception of the game, perception about yourself in terms of the competitive scene? Or was it just like, all
I
right, I got the W, let's try to go again?
Yeah, I don't think so because I was like, I think like when I beat him the first time, I knew that I could win a tournament over him. So I don't think it changed that much, but it was cool to get the money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like getting like $70 for winning the tournament. Like I was like, oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Like I just won $70 and I didn't even expect to. It's not something I thought of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um
it was so cool.
was SDJ like a little bit of a bracket demon for you, you would say, or was it just like sometimes you ran into him, sometimes you
Man,
didn't?
My history with SDJ is so funny. So the first time I played against SDJ,
Mm-hmm.
it was at an Arcadian in 2016, and he planked me.
Really?
Or 2017, yeah, and he planked me and literally timed me out on Yoshi's, and I had no idea what I could do about it because
Yeah.
I was so bad back then.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, if I every time I've gone to the ledge, I just die.
Mm-hmm.
And so he literally planked me, and I was so mad. And so then I had a literal binder, I remember, and I just wrote down notes of what to do versus Jigglypuff, like at like the start of it, and then I slowly started to get good at the Puff matchup because that's my best matchup now,
Yeah.
like easily, far and away my best matchup. And he definitely pushed me really hard to get good at it because gave me no other option. Doesn't give you anything for free.
Mm-hmm. Because I was gonna say I was surprised that like you're saying this about SDJ because I saw you at Riptide and you looked very very good I think against Prisabu, and I was like all right
Yeah,
you know the matchup for sure, so I guess
yeah,
that's how I mean it seems like Texas players know what's up against Jigglypuff. Am I
oh
tripping?
yeah,
Why is
yeah,
that?
yeah.
Is it just because
Uh,
of the players you have?
we have had SDJ, Haunter, um, Palpa. We have so many Puff players, and
Mm-hmm.
they're all good. So you really have to like be so good at the matchup, and like it's crazy because like Salt is good at it, right? She's good at it, but like out
Yeah.
of all the good players, she might be the worst at it out of all the good players,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy because she's still good at it. Like Aspop is amazing at it. Bobby is the best Falco against Puff,
Yeah.
like in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm good at it, like all the foxes are so good at it. Stone is pretty good at it. The Leaf is amazing at it. All the Texas foxes and all the Spaceys have got it like that versus Puff.
Yeah. That's sick. That's sick.
Yeah, it is sick. We watch SDJ play out of region people. Like SDJ beat SFAT, and I was like, yep, you're not ready for that, that, and that. You don't know because you've
Yeah.
never been here before. You know?
There's just so many good players that are like not even the top of like their region yet. You know what I mean? That can just knock out an
No.
OG like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, SDJ was like a sleeper. So was Palpa. Palpa was also a sleeper.
So you say Jigglypuff is your best matchup. What's your favorite matchup?
Marth.
Really?
Marth. Yeah, I know that's a crazy thing for a Fox player to say, but yeah, it's easily Marth. I
And
think
why
that
is that?
so with the ground mix-ups are just so cool. Like like if Marth early fares or late fares, you do different options. So it's like when he early fares, you can stay grounded, and then with punish, it's just all of the interactions are really really interesting, and it's dash dancing. And I think my least favorite thing about melee is like a lot of reversals and stuff like that are
Mm-hmm.
just like you get rewarded for like silly reversals that like you didn't actually outplay somebody for. And for me, those tend to you can pick your spots better against Marth, and it tends to happen a little bit less, in my experience. I mean, somebody might feel differently, but
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it.
And what's the matchup that you when you see in bracket you're like fuck like I don't want to play this? Is it like a mid tier type deal? I know Fox
I
mains
hate
hate
mid
mid tiers.
tiers.
Yeah.
I hate mid tiers.
I was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
gonna
If
say
I had
yeah.
to say one that like out of but like everybody, most people just hate fighting mid tiers in general.
Yeah.
Fox, Falco, She. Most people don't like playing against mid tiers. So like that's like the easy pick. But if I had to just pick a character right now that just like the character that makes me the most angry right now is probably Falco.
Really?
Um, yeah, just because he slide off the ice everything, and his tech roll is huge.
Yeah.
And if he get up shines you, you're probably dead a lot of the time. Like
Yeah.
so it's like, and his tech roll is already so big, and he's so hard to tech chase already that when you miss and you die, it's like, dude, it's a
Yeah.
struggle. But I
Yeah.
still like it. I don't hate anything in melee. The only thing I like despise playing against are certain players and their play styles.
What play styles would those be? You don't have to name any names, obviously, but
No, I obviously, yeah. I
yeah,
won't like
we don't want to
like
flame
grill
nobody.
anybody.
Yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah.
Probably uh, a play style that is really, really bent on not outplaying you, but waiting for you to get bored. That's like my
Mm,
least favorite type of play style because like they only get so far because they're a lot like melee does reward patience a lot,
yeah,
but only to a certain degree. And if there's players who catch you on a bad day and they're just playing really patient, it doesn't feel like they're actually trying to outplay you in certain interactions. And so it's just like kind of boring. And I don't play those players in friendlies very often because it's like you don't really gain that much from it.
yeah, yeah,
You know, you wait, you win. You don't wait, you lose. That's like how it is versus some players. That's my least favorite type of play style.
yeah. I totally understand that.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
what are some things, switching it up a little bit? What are some things that you've learned from your melee career that you incorporate into your day to day life, outside of the sticks?
Honestly, like that there are good days and bad days, but they don't define how everything is going to go moving forward. You know, like that day, like, because, like, you're playing bad one day and you're playing good one day, and,
Yeah.
the ups are really high and the lows are really low. So it's like kind of just like realizing that life is kind of like interaction to interaction, and you build up what you're doing throughout your entire life. That's kind of how it's been for me, because like I kind of learned through each melee interaction, and it's also just taught me how to be so patient too, and
Hmm.
just like understand, because I work with kids at an elementary school, and it's helped me understand why they're upset when they lose any game or anything like that, and it's helped me articulate to them how they should actually handle things, because I've like competed so long,
You felt
so
those feelings before, yeah.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. You know?
If I may ask, like, what made you want to work with kids? Like, what made you want to do that type of work? I mean, it's something
I,
that you don't really see. Like, I guess people talk about the work outside of melee. So, if that's something you want to get
yeah.
into,
No, yeah, for sure. I honestly was just desperately looking for jobs, because I had originally worked at Panera Bread and I hated it. Oh my gosh.
yeah, yeah,
Old people were just so rude there. I don't recommend.
yeah,
It was awful. They were so rude. But then I was like looking for jobs, and they're like, okay, here's this after school care slash tutor thing. And I was like, sure, anything to get me out of the food industry right now. And so
no,
then they actually called me for an interview. And then I went to the interview and it was super good, but I forgot to save the guy's phone number who I did the interview with. And then they called me the next day, and they called me at like 7 a.m. and I was asleep. And I answered and I was like, what? Because I was just half asleep and mad. And he goes, hey, Justice, I just wanted to tell you that you got the job and you start. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I like almost just blew it by yelling at this guy on the phone. It was actually hilarious.
dude, how do you have the energy like working on a job like that and then like come home, play melee, do all that type of stuff? Like, I know a lot of people work a nine to
Yeah.
five grind. Like, is it just discipline, or is it like, what is it?
I just like my job, so
Word.
I'm lucky enough to like really like it enough to where, like, I'm literally just interacting with little people that are really funny. So
Yeah,
it's like, it's really not that it's really like not the hardest thing, because I like it so much and I'm built for it. So it's like it's really fun, like, so I when I come home, I'm not like, unless the kids were acting crazy that day,
yeah, yeah,
then usually I'm like, oh, I can just do it, I'll just play melee, I'll go out and hang out with friends or whatever,
yeah, yeah. Um,
yeah.
outside of melee, what other like hobbies or interests do you have? I mean, I know that you're doing the content stuff on the side in terms of tournaments, in terms of melee combo videos. Like, what else are you keeping active in?
Gosh, let me think. So I really, really like film stuff. Like I don't like, like actually, have a camera and like record stuff, or I'm not an actor or anything. But I really like keeping up with like certain like studios for films. I obviously listen to a ton of music. Um, I like go to concerts with my friends sometimes, like just like friends that I've had since high school.
Mm-hmm.
Just like really normie stuff. I have like two separate like things that I have, where it's just like, my Smash stuff, and then my normal like day to day life stuff, and I kind of keep those separated because it feels more healthy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't mind talking about them, obviously. But
Yeah.
yeah, so it's like that. I just hang out with a bunch of my friends from high school and stuff like that.
Word, word.
Yeah, it's
Is
really
that,
fun.
you were talking about like getting into films and stuff like that? That like, is that something that interests you? Like doing some type of documentary or doing some type of small like video on melee or one of your other hobbies?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a vlog of
Word.
like me and my friends, like, traveling to tournaments. So it's gonna be super fun.
I think that would
I'm
be sick, dude. I think that
Yeah,
would be
I'm
sick.
stoked for it. I'm gonna try to make it like really, really good, and I'm gonna have multiple different types of cameras. Like I'm gonna have like an older school one that has like just for aesthetics,
Mm-hmm.
and it's gonna kind of look like VHS tapey, and then I'm gonna have a
Yeah.
regular HD one, and I kind of want to switch between them and stuff, and like not just record the events themselves, but like parties after and stuff like that,
Yeah.
like the whole thing.
Yeah. 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 I feel you with like that VHS vibe. Like, it's almost like that skating vibe that you're talking about.
Exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like the grainy kind of look. It's yeah,
I,
That's what I'm gonna be going for.
I was asking you that because I think it's something that I like. I'm interested in terms of, we see like a very very successful couple of Smash docs happen, and like now we're seeing a bunch of YouTubers making like very fantastic content. Shout out to them, but we don't see like any more of like I don't know, like vlogs, or we don't see like just like
Yeah.
recapping events, with people on the scene. I think like Alex 19 sort of does it with his IRL streams, but like we don't see like, I think that's like a something that you could really tap into.
I completely agree. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, it'd be super cool to like actually, because like I want to stop people and have them talk about what their event went and stuff like that. And we did that once a long time ago. In 2018, it was called like the East Park vlog or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
it was way more like amateur, and like we weren't as deep into the scene as we are now. Like I know so many more people, and like I can edit on my own. So like back then, my friend was the one who edited, and he's really busy, so he would just edit it whenever he felt like it.
Yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
Yeah,
Man, I think it's just like really commendable, like you breaking up into these other avenues and stuff like that. Like, yeah, it's
yeah.
something that,
Thank you.
yeah, it's something that definitely inspired me. Like I was just a TO and a competitor, and I'm doing this stuff. This is sort of like out of my skill range, I think, or like my comfort zone. But it's like I think it's good for the community, good for the scene. I think people are interested in it.
Yeah, yeah. It's really fun to just expand, and see what you can do.
Yeah.
And you can do it all, as long as you try hard enough. That's like my thing. It's like I'm like, you can't put too much on your plate, but you can dip your toes in everything and try, everything. Um, it was just like for the longest time, my only priority was competing, and now I like have these other things.
Mm-hmm. Do you think? I mean, is the end goal to like become self-sufficient in melee in terms of like like supporting yourself financially, or do you think that's something that's attainable without being a top tier, top five, top 10 player?
I think it is obtainable with the way things are going for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I just have like certain plans that are like, they're like, I have like the realistic one and then the dream. So like, I like want to work at, like I love working at an elementary school, so I want to keep doing that.
Yeah.
But if things get really nice for me, Smash wise, and I'm making more money, then I'll just do that. Like,
Mm.
but one step at a time, and I have two incomes coming in right now, which is pretty good for me.
That's sick. That is actually
Yeah.
sick. Um. Hmm. What other questions? I guess I can get into like the short fire round of questions.
Yeah,
Um.
yeah, of course.
So I'm just gonna ask you just random shit basically, and you just
Yeah,
got
yeah.
just first thing that comes to mind. All right. Best skin for a melee character. So like you rock Red Fox. What's this like the
Yeah.
coolest skin for any character?
For any character in
Yeah.
general, oh, that's hard. Gosh. I'm trying to think. Oh, Goggles Pichu is so good.
Yeah.
Blue Pichu. Yeah, with the goggles. That's definitely my favorite.
What's the
Actually.
ugliest? People say Daisy, and I think that's just sort of wrong. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Like,
it's
come
not,
on,
and
it's
it's
not
not
Daisy.
Daisy. It's not Daisy. I mean, Daisy's not. It might be one of the Bowsers. He's just so gross looking. Like
Yeah.
I don't know any of like Black Bowser. I don't like. I mean, yeah, or like naked Pikachu. Like those
Yeah.
ones are just gross. Like the naked Pokemon just don't look good in Smash. They just are like with the neutral skin just looks awful usually to me.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Dude,
not a fan.
someone in the chat said green Pika. I think that's a respectable answer too.
That is a respectable
I don't
answer
like the
too.
tone. I don't like the fedora. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. That's why I use it though when I'm like messing around with Pikachu. I say that he's like the supreme gentleman or whatever because he's got the fedora on.
Dude, it feels bad when you lose to a Pikachu with a fedora on. When they get you at like 30%, they back throw you and then like up air spike you, whatever the hell. It's like, oh
Yeah,
my
for
god,
sure,
dude.
for sure. It's so tragic every single time.
Do you listen to music?
Absolutely.
Do you listen to music when you play in tournament? And if so, what do you listen to?
No, not really. But if I do listen to music when I'm playing, I listen to like jazz or soul music or like Claro or something to
Word.
like really chill. Like or Tyler the Creator's newer albums, just to like have something that's not super intrusive.
Yeah, yeah. What's like? Do you have like Spotify? What was like your main listen of the year, basically?
Oh, The main song that I listened to was "Free Me" by 42 Doug. That was my
Word.
most important
Okay,
song.
yo.
Yeah,
Hey, I'm in
yeah,
Michigan right now, so shout out to Michigan. Shout out to
yeah.
42 Doug
Yeah.
rocks. Respect, respect.
I love 42 Doug. I
Yeah.
mean, I love him. He's so good. He's so good. I bumped him all year last year.
If you could go to a concert, whose concert would you go to? I'm seeing these Beyonce prices right now. It's crazy.
Probably a Tyler the Creator concert again.
Word.
I went to one in 2016, but probably another Tyler concert because like I would want to go somewhere where like the crowd is still like respectable and chill. Actually, no, I'd pick Earl Sweatshirt concert for sure. That's
Word,
the one I
word.
would go to. Yeah.
I rock with Earl. I rock with
Yeah,
Earl, dude. Yeah.
he's really chill in his vibe. Like he's not. There's no moshing or anything. I don't like that stuff. I like it to just be actually about the music. So
Dude, I went to this is maybe a little off topic, but I went to this
no, you're
JPEG
good.
Mafia concert. Do you know who JPEG Mafia is?
Oh yeah,
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 yeah. It was fucking crazy. It was crazy. These people.
yeah,
It was like a fight. It was like a
yeah. I
legit fight.
know.
I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to
Yeah.
listen to the music right now, bro.
Yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly. I do not vibe with those types of concerts at all. If you watch Earl's concerts, he's literally walking and talking, basically, just
Yeah,
rapping. It's just poetry, and that's what I vibe with.
yeah. I totally respect that. Like jazz concerts have that vibe a lot. Like I love to go to like a good jazz concert and you just chill
Yeah,
out basically. Yeah.
exactly, exactly. We have this place called the Green Elephant, and like there's like reggae concerts and stuff there, and you
Oh,
can
that's
just go and
sick.
chill. Yeah, yeah, it's amazing.
So are you a type like you listen to all types of music, some types of music?
I listen to pretty much everything that's not country music.
You don't even rock with like the old school like Dolly Parton, Johnny Cash. You don't rock with them.
They're fine. They're fine.
All
I'll
right,
listen to them if it's on. But if there's like modern day country on, I'm like turn it off.
dude.
And
I
like no,
respect that
no.
take. I
Yeah,
respect
yeah,
that take. Honestly.
yeah. The new style country is just like anything from like almost like 1999 and beyond is like unlistenable to me. Which is
um,
crazy.
dude, who's the best dressing Smash player? Like well-known Smash player.
Of all the well-known Smash players,
Yeah,
it's Toussaint.
Toussaint.
Definitely Toussaint.
Yeah,
Yeah, Toussaint or Franz. It's like a tie for me. Franz is so well dressed.
Franz is
I see. Yeah,
underrated. Yeah,
yeah.
he
I
comes
see
with style.
Franz's fits, and I'm like, that's crazy. Like Franz is with his partner at events, and they're both dressed like so well, and I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, like this is insane.
Yo, the melee community, no cap, is good looking. Like we got some good
Yeah,
lookers in our scene for
for
sure.
sure.
Uh,
Everybody's upping their fashion game too.
yeah, they are. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
I think this is the
same.
only time like I get to show out, put on the fake chains and all that shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. You really get to like do it all. You get
Yeah.
to really like flash the drip. It's awesome.
Um, uh, Nike or Adidas?
Nike.
Nike all day. You have a favorite
Yeah.
shoe, like a shoe that you rock from Nike?
Um. Yeah, probably. Honestly, my closet is right here. Hold on. I like these over here. I have them in the box. Yeah, I have
Show them bitches
the
off, bro.
the turbo green.
Woo!
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
damn,
turbo
dude.
green. The Nike Jordan ones and the other ones that are like are my homage to home Jordan ones. These
Oh
they're like
shit.
yeah,
Those
they're
are pretty hard
black.
to find, right?
Yeah, yeah, they're black and red on one side, and then white and red and black on the other. They're super cool.
Are you a shoe head then? Are you like do you collect shoes or
I just collect everything.
word?
Like I'm not rich or anything, right? But like I just slowly collect pieces of clothing that I really fuck with.
Yeah.
Eventually, I have it all together,
Mm-hmm.
and like it just slowly builds up.
Do you think like when you sit next to a person like you're about to sit down tournament match, you don't know who it is, and they're wearing like the classic like Zelda shirt with the like khakis. Does that affect you versus someone who sits down and they're wearing just like drip head to toe?
Well, I usually try harder if somebody is dressed like
Yeah,
that.
dude.
I know it's really toxic, but I definitely try a lot harder because I'm like, dude, I really don't want to lose to somebody in cargo shorts right now. That is not what I want to do when I lose. That's why when Ben's in my bracket, I'm like, dude, because Ben is always rocking the cargo shorts, and I'm like, man, he's a bracket demon for sure.
Dude, that's
I
super
love Ben
funny,
though.
dude.
He's so nice. He's so nice. He's just always wearing cargo shorts.
What's your take on pop offs? Are you a big pop off type of person, or do you think that it's sort of tacky? Like, what do you think about pop offs?
Just keep it respectable. You know what I mean? Like there's some times where it's like, when HBox throws a chair or
Yeah.
something, or like you just scream too loud, or
Yeah.
like something like that. It's fine. But J-Book won Genesis and he popped off. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Or like somebody like beat somebody that they were excited to beat. That's fine. Just like keep it respectable and don't pop off so long that I have to sit there and wait for a long time for you to be done popping off before I can fist bump you. Like, let me fist bump you so
Yeah.
I can leave.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I totally agree with that. It's nothing worse than seeing the guy who got like second place or whatever just sitting there waiting for
Yeah.
like it reminds me, what's it like Evo Armada versus HBox? Like Armada was just sitting there while HBox was just
Yeah.
like rolling around. It's like,
Yeah.
damn, dude.
It's like, dude, come on, please let me go. Yeah,
Yeah.
please let me go. I just want to leave. Yeah.
Uh,
This
what
happened to me.
what type of controller are you playing on right now?
I have a fob. It's a made by Rien and K Willie. Got
Word.
really nice buttons and stuff. Oh wow, I press the buttons that have melee on so I can hear it in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's just like a JP white shell, then a clear back that's like pink and like bluish.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's really good. It's really good. But that controller did have an issue. I can't remember. Rian explained the issue, but I can't remember what exactly was wrong with it. But I was playing versus Grab and Quang in doubles with Salt, and
Mm.
we were it was 2v2 last stock to last stock, and then I was like, all of a sudden I couldn't dash, and I was like literally, and I was like, okay, Salt, you literally have to win this game because I can't move, literally. And
Really?
so Salt won. Yeah, she won. She won the game.
Damn.
So
Dude,
it
she's
was
so
crazy.
cracked.
Yeah, she's just so cracked. She
Yeah.
won the game, but I was like, dude, I can't. You're gonna have to do this on your. I can't move, and she did it. She did it, and then I got my controller fixed. And when Rianne saw it, she was like, she messed with it. She was like, oh my gosh, this is not okay. Whatever is wrong with your controller right now? And I was like, yeah.
What do you like? If you want to talk about it, because I know it's like a little touchy subject in our beautiful community. Like, what is your take on the whole controller issue? Like, does it affect you? Do you care? Do you want to see some rules implemented?
I want to see, and like I don't, I'm not sure. I know that there's a group of people working on box nerfs right now.
Yeah.
That's I mean, Goomwave is probably the most broken controller because like it'll read. I don't want to butcher it, so I'm trying not to butcher it. So I'm gonna like say it as much as possible. But I know that like sometimes it'll read like your missed inputs and help you with it, which is literally cheating.
Yeah.
Like you can like mess up a ledge dash and it will read it as you ledge dashing and it fixes it for you, which is literally in the rules cheating.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not the biggest fan of Goom Waves. I don't like boxes either. Um, but I mean box is like fine. I just don't like travel time, like how fast they can dash after, because like the way travel time works is like on a stick you move left to right,
Yeah.
but on a box you don't have to move left to right. You can just press the two buttons. And so they're coming up with a solution where you have to have your button, or you have to have your finger completely off of one of the dash buttons in order to dash to the other side to equalize travel time.
Oh,
Yeah.
I haven't thought about the fact that you could do. Okay, that makes sense to me. So
Yeah, right? Yeah, yeah.
so do you like? I mean, what avenue do you think is gonna have to come through, like in terms of like making these rules? Like, is it gonna have to come from? It seems like in the way that our community is set up, and correct me if you think I'm wrong. Like, it's from the top down almost when it comes to these rules.
Oh yeah.
So like,
Oh yeah, it
but
is.
the top players aren't really like rule makers. They're not running their own tournaments. So it's almost like a disconnect there, where it's like, how are we gonna change any of these rules? Like,
Yeah,
what's your solution to that?
we need like a literal panel to create rules that has a mix of top players and TOs
Mm-hmm.
and controller monitors. Like, and it's really simple. It's like we just get those types of groups of people, we put them all together, and then they come up with ideas and agree on. They could literally vote about things together, and whichever one they agree with or disagree with, they could implement into the rule set or whatever. But we need that. Like maybe if you're like in like the top 20, you could literally be on that panel if you wanted to. I don't
Yeah.
know, something like that. So that way we're a little bit more organized and we have an official melee rule set. And it's like, I guess you could make it like if a regional or a major doesn't run this rule set, then maybe it doesn't count, to try and be really strict on the melee rule set to make it more you're just more strict, because like it's so loose. You can run any tournament. Like I'm running the Am Friends regional, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do a ledge grab limit, whether or not it goes to time. If you break ledge grab limit, whether or not it goes to time, you lose.
Really? So
I can
you're
just do that.
implementing that?
Yeah, I'm just implementing that because I
Right.
can.
Yeah.
There's no real basis of like what I can and can't do.
I was literally just gonna ask you, what do you think about the ledge like puff stalling? Is that
Oh,
is that your answer to that?
yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's like one of the biggest problems in melee, probably. That like I just think it's completely silly that Puff can like literally time out like half the cast, like, and there's no rule around it.
Do
No
you,
airtime limit, no ledge grab limit, nothing. Like realistically, we have one, but it doesn't do anything because it goes to they might not time you out, and so it's like you just, if they don't time you out, then they could grab the legs 120 times, and it doesn't matter.
do you think that like the top puffs that we see today rightfully abuse that? I feel like when we see puffs today, there's almost like this like I don't want to do it type deal. Like I
Yeah,
don't see puffs like really committing to that game plan that much, you know?
it's more of a problem. So HBox, sometimes he's in a mood and
Yeah.
he does it, like to Laud, because he knows it's gonna make Laud mad. So he does it to Laud because Laud's just gonna get annoyed. But like and he does it to like Leffen, where he plays really defensive because he knows Leffen will get annoyed. But it's more of a problem at like the mid level, is where like you see a lot of that happen with pup players. Like it's like the pup players that are willing to wait there. It's like they just like time out characters, and a lot of people are like, well, they're not winning anything, so it doesn't matter. And I'm like, that's not the point always. The point is that like you keep the integrity of the game in check and you keep a game healthy, because I think something like that is super unhealthy for the game.
Yeah.
Like something like timing people out for 8 minutes and just like planking and air camping. Like we had a Puff Pops versus Absent Minded, a Ice Climbers player, and they literally like barely moved the entire game because Pops was the Puff and he would jump around, and eventually they timed out, and like they timed out 3 times in a row. It was insane.
That's terrible, honestly.
Yeah.
That's not.
Yes, it's
Like, I mean, respect to everyone. It's all love on the Ethiopium stream, but I ain't trying to see that shit, to be honest with
no,
you.
yeah, exactly.
And it
That's
holds up
exactly
bracket.
how
Like as a TO, it's just like,
yeah,
fuck. You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like we trying to move the
yeah,
stream along. Yeah.
yeah. I'm not asking Puffs to play like mad aggressive because I know she's a defensive character. I just don't think you should be able to, just time people out and like that, and it'd be cool. We can create a rule set around it. It's,
Yeah.
better.
Do you think that the timer should be touched or nah?
Maybe. I don't know. I want to mess with the other rules first. I think that a lower timer would probably help a lot, but first we can mess around with the other rules and see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But there's 8 minutes, and that's pretty long, because I feel like when we made it 8 minutes, people couldn't kill each other like they can now. You get hit and you die a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like when a match goes to like 3 minutes and 55 seconds for me, I'm like, man, that was long. And I mean, I know I made Fox, so it's different, but
Yeah.
it's like, still like it's like the timer is really long for how developed the meta is.
Um, you guys have had like in Texas a lot of good Ices mains.
Yeah,
Like,
we have.
what's your stance on wobbling?
Oh, it should be banned.
Get that shit out of here.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
should stay banned. It should stay banned.
Yeah.
We had a town hall meeting about wobbling right before it got banned globally.
Yeah.
And the way that it got banned was we all voted, and it was we had a kid who literally was getting super good. His name was Spencer69 was his tag,
Nice.
and he was like destroying people by wobbling them. Like he beat Bobby by wobbling him, and he like looked like they asked him like, Spencer, what do you think about wobbling? Because he had switched to Fox at this point. And he was like, honestly, I was just a wobbler. I wasn't good at the game, and
Yeah.
I think you should keep it. I think you should ban it. And then like most people voted for it being banned. I think the only people that there was like 10 people that didn't want it banned. Like it was like Bananas and SDJ, I think. But SDJ was beating Bananas regardless, so it really didn't matter. But yeah,
Yeah.
I felt bad for the Ice Climbers players because they felt like it was like personal, but it wasn't. We just hate wobbling. Yeah.
Well, speaking of Ice Climbers players, one Climbers player that's been moving up the ranks and maybe retired now is Slug. Um,
Oh yeah.
do you think that like banning wobbling like helped Ice Climbers like grow as a character, like push them as a character, or do you think that this was gonna happen anyways with the meta?
No, I think it definitely helped. It helped a lot because I play against players that were previously just wobblers that have like just tried to come back, and it's like way easier than anything Slug has like. Or it's way easier than anything Slug has like ever done. Like Slug is so hard to play against compared to every other Ice Climbers player. I'll
Yeah.
play versus Ices, and I'm like, I'll play versus his Ices specifically, and I'm like, dude, this is impossible. Like, and then I play against every other one, and I'm like, wow, it's so much easier. Like the gap is insane, and I think that yeah, wobbling definitely pushed banning wobbling definitely pushed him to become like really good.
Who do you think is so? I would. Who do you think is going to be like the next up? You know, we had like Jmook break the ranks. We had Amsa finally win the Rager. We had Slug climbing up those ranks as well. And then I assume he's on a break or he's retired now. Like, who do you think when you looking at the VODs or you watching them play or playing against them, you're like, yeah, this is next level shit. They're gonna be contending for big time trophies.
I think it's Espop. Obviously, I'm biased, but
Yeah,
this is his first time being ranked, and he is at 26th.
yeah,
That's high. That's really high for a first time ranking, And he has always been really good at every game he's played, but he has always come back to melee. And you just feel the aura of like a good player when you play against him. He's like smart, he's fast, he's very deliberate. So I think that if any player is going to have that type of come up, it's Espop. Because I always tell him, dude, you need to keep playing. Because like sometimes he gets in moods where like he's just like, I'm over melee right now. But I'm like, dude, if you were born for this or something, bro. Because like you're so good at it.
yeah.
Yeah.
What do you
So
think?
Espop's my pick.
Like, if you could describe one thing that separates, the top 10 from like a top 50 player, what would that be?
It's got to be. I mean, huge thing is dedication, honestly, and their mindset on improvement. I know like so many top 50 players who like are really good and have like a lot of talent, but just like their mindset just is not there. They
Yeah.
just don't. They either don't want it enough or aren't chasing it correctly.
Mm-hmm. All right, switching it completely up. If you had, let's say you have a bus, 15 people, all melee players, you just picked them up from the tournament, and you have to do one thing that isn't melee. Where are you guys going? Where are you taking them?
There's this place called gosh, why can't I remember it now? It's like this mini golf place, and it's
Yeah.
also got like a. Why can't I remember it? Or maybe Hurricane Harbor if it's summertime.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really fun. Something like that. Yeah, that would be lit. That would be super lit. Yeah, like a water park. Maybe Six Flags. That would be fun.
That would be sick. That would be sick.
State Fair. Yeah, something like that where like you can just go and do a bunch of stuff.
If you had to, let's say, only melee players can be voted into office in the great United States of America. You had to vote one person to be the president. Who would you vote? That we know of.
And in that, are they? Can I pick retired players?
Yeah, sure.
Armado. He's just so like, systematic and serious, Like I feel like he'd be built to be like a politician in that way, where he's just like very serious, but he's also caring. He's what I'd want in a president.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, Armado probably.
How did you feel when he came back and did some commentary at Genesis? I thought that was really, really cool. I'm glad to see
That
him
was
back.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't talk to him at all. Oh no, I did actually. I did talk to him a little bit because we I played him in 2018. He came to a low tier city, which is in Dallas, and we played. And he just like I remember I zeroed death in the first stock because I was warming him up for 11, and then he did like the literal Armada thing where he's like leaned in and tilted his glasses literally. And
Yeah, yeah.
he JV 4 stocked me. I
Jesus.
didn't get a yeah. Playing against him has not like I haven't played against Mango yet, but nothing else has felt like the way when I played against Armada.
So he still got it, is what you're telling me. There's a lot of people who
Yeah,
say, nah, he wouldn't be able to compete in this meta and da 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 da. What do you think about that? If Armada wanted to come back, what,
he would be so good so fast. I
yeah,
think he would be the best Peach again within like 2 weeks.
damn,
I don't even mean that to be like rude to the Peach fans. He was just that good. He won Super Majors only using Peach. Like that guy is so good at
yeah.
melee. You know,
Hmm.
I mean, come on, he's so good.
So speaking on that, like, Armada like talked about certain reasons why he left the community. Do you think that the way the community is structured for top players, do you think that it's sustainable for them and their mental health, I guess, or do you think that you're gonna get run down if you try to make it big in terms of the top ranks?
I don't think you people will get run down, but I do think that top players are enabled too much. Like and like we reinforce that, like I don't know, bad habits, like them always being late to their pools and stuff like that. You know, like stuff like that. That's like just like it doesn't drain them down. You know, like physically, but it's like it teaches them bad lessons, you know, when they're like, yeah, I can just be late to my pool, nobody's gonna DQ me or whatever, you know, and it's like stuff like that is like very frustrating. But I think that like if you are close to getting there, like as long as you keep your mental health straight, it should be sustainable.
Yeah.
You know?
I saw a lot of people complain on Genesis 9 about like, you know, games not being going and stuff like that. Like now that
Yeah.
you're roaming into the TO area of things, like what would be, a good way for TOs to be able to manage that while still keeping the players happy?
So here's my rule on this: if you have not messaged me that you're going to be late because of something serious, and you are 10 minutes or 15 minutes late with no word, you're getting double DQ, especially if you're a top player.
Double
You know,
DQ'd,
because
word.
yeah, because if you ruin a bracket if you just like are the top seed and then you win, you lose, you just get DQ'd into losers, and then you play out all of losers. Like I had this friend Miguel who they literally like lost to Shroomed and SUJ to not make it out of round one pools because Shroomed was hungover and showed up late. And I'm
Damn.
like, that should never happen. That just should not happen ever. You know, that makes no sense.
What do you think is like if there's one like thing that you can implement maybe from other sports or other esports or other avenues of your life into the melee scene? What would that be?
Lack of complaining. Like from
Yeah.
playing other sports, there's so much more complaining in this game, and like I guess like the mentality of an actual athlete. You know, because like we want to be taken seriously as esports, but we don't have like none of us want to have the mentality of an actual athlete. We're just always like complaining, or you know, I don't know. It's just so whiny. Like I see people like complaining on Twitter a bunch about stupid stuff all the time. You know, I get it. Sometimes you need to speak for what you think is right, and that's good. But like when you're doing it constantly, it's like, dude, just keep your head in the game. It's just like adds extra stress to talk about that stuff all the time.
Is that something that you learned like early on from other
Yeah,
avenues, or was that something you learned from melee?
no, that was something I learned early on, like
Yeah.
early on, yeah, in my life. I feel like a lot of Smashers did not play like any or do anything competitive when they were like growing up, but they were really good at video games, and so then like you kind of like if you weren't already taught that in some other way, you have to learn that when you play melee, and that's hard,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I actually totally agree. Like I came from a sports background. Like I went to college for sports, and it's like you sometimes you just get beat, like fair and square, and it
Yeah.
sucks because you like I did track and field, so we would train so much for like one meet, and then
Yeah.
if you get beat, you get beat. Like there's no
Mm-hmm.
takebacks, there's no excuses. You just lost, and
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, like that
yeah,
was
and that's
humbling. It was good for me, I think.
yeah, exactly, and that's what I come down to with like you know the you know people like you know shielding for top players and stuff like that too. Is like if you were to get out, if you were to go off and be like, oh, I just got so unlucky to your coach, they would be so mad at you. You know, they wouldn't be like, you didn't get unlucky, you didn't play well enough, or whatever. You
Yeah,
know, and that's
yeah.
like just not how it works in every other competitive thing. So if we need to be taken seriously, we need to act like it's you know a sport.
What are some players that you think have that right mentality that just pop
Zane,
into your head? Yeah,
Jake, J Mook,
yeah.
um, Zane, J Mook. Um, man, it's really hard. That might be it that I can think of, like that have that mentality overall out of all the like really good players. I mean, Armada isn't active anymore, but Armada obviously had that. But
Yeah.
like out of all the active players, it's like Jake and Zane are the ones who like are feel like that, you know?
Um, damn, I had a good question leading up to that. Hold on a sec. Let me get back. Let me get back.
No,
Uh,
you're good. You're good.
do you think like man, how do I say this? Like, how many times do you think you got to go to like a big, like we saw like Jake? It took a whole year for I said Jake like I know him, for J Mook to like go from second place to first place. You know what I mean? Like in terms of the super major. Like, do you think that like we're ever gonna see someone just show up out of the blue and take a tournament that type of size? I mean, it wasn't like J Mook was out of the blue, but for like the casual person who like only knows your top five, top 10, that was sort of out of the blue. Do you think that that'll ever happen in this era, or do you think those days are long behind us?
So like winning a tournament, probably not. But I think the next person, if he gets over his tournament nerves, that's going to make a J Mook like run at like J Mook at Genesis 8 esque, it'll be Zion. Nobody knows how good Zion actually is unless they're a top player and have played him. That guy is insanely good. He's like he like played Moki on ranked the other day, and Moki was like, "Yeah, this guy's literally top 20 in the world." So it's like if you know him, like Zion just got unbanned recently. He's black too, so I think he might enter the Black Empowerment
Oh, really? I didn't know he
melee,
was
yeah,
black. Yeah.
last chance qualifier, yeah, and he is really really good. Like if I were, I couldn't seed him first, obviously, because like like people are like, well, he hasn't been active at all. But if I were to seed him first, like if he when he if not if but when he qualifies for Black Empowerment, I think he'd be the favorite to take it probably.
Really, really.
Yeah,
Yo,
I think he's that good.
let me give a shout out to that tournament, by the way. That's one of the sickest tournaments. Shout out to Homemade
Yeah,
Waffles, moving to Ohio, moving next to Michigan. We don't respect
yeah,
Ohio, but we respect Homemade Waffles, so respect, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, for
Little
sure,
rivalry
for
there.
sure, for
Um,
sure.
like, what do you think in terms of like the black empowerment and stuff? Like, what do you think about black people in the scene in terms of? I mean, there's like a lot of pushback that we saw on Twitter. I mean, it was more like the vocal minority, I think, about that BEMI. We saw some, shit go down between you and certain Ganondorf main.
Oh yeah, Fluxes. Oh
Yeah,
yeah. Oh
like.
man.
What do you think like melee like has a race problem at all, or do you think that that's just like sort of comes with the territory?
No, I think that it used to, like, at least like early on in my days, I had heard some things at tournaments that I couldn't even say on stream,
Yeah,
but that are like, but that I was like, wow, like, and I like didn't know how to interpret it because I was young when they said it. But
yeah.
now it's totally a tolerant place. I mean, like, you saw what happened with No Fluxes. He got like
He got
he
straight
got
out that motherfucker.
railed by everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody was so mad at him. I mean, sometimes I still get like tweets from certain people who are like, "You did him dirty," but I'm like, "No, he literally set himself up for that." I don't know. That
Dude.
was on him, in my opinion.
Go if you would like wouldn't mind, go ahead and just explain that situation from your side of the things, like just a short synopsis for those who
Oh
don't know.
yeah, we were literally so like I don't remember like so I wanna nobody can see this. So like what happened was is me and Secrets who are like before he retired we're Static Teams partners, and we beat No Fluxes and Eggy in like and I made a 2v1 comeback. I was at like 70% and I killed Eggy and No Fluxes, and I remember how I killed No Fluxes. He was in the corner under the left side of the stadium, and I comboed him really hard and put him into the corner there, and he was at like 90%, and I just like waited and dash danced and waited for a roll, and I up there, and that's how you can see me like when I get really into focus mode. I try really hard to hit an up air that's really hard to SEI, and I hit it, and we won, and I just popped off, and so then he tweeted to me, like, and he was just like, yeah, these guys popping off over doubles.
Yeah.
And so then like we were like, okay, well he's making fun of us, or so let's blame him back. This is just funny. That's how it was. And then I was literally peeing in a urinal at Applebee's, and I looked at my phone and I saw him pan to him to the like gorilla, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me, this can't be real. And so I showed them, and everybody's jaw dropped
Yeah.
at the apple. They were like, oh my, there's no way. And
Yeah.
they're like, he literally just ruined himself, like
He
and I
just
was like,
ended it.
yeah,
Yeah.
he did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, he absolutely did. It was so crazy. I'd never experienced anything like that.
Dude, that shit was
Yeah.
sad, honestly. But I was really happy with how the community rallied around it. You know what I'm saying? Because I was at that
Oh, for
Riptide.
sure.
I was at that Riptide, and like I
Yeah.
saw people dapping you up. Like there was some good like conversations being held with a lot of the black community. Like I was talking to Homemade Waffles, TRT. I was talking to
Hmm.
like just homies in the scene. OGs in the scene who've
Yeah.
been through it all. But I think it was like I mean, I don't think it's good, but I think it was like it's healthy to say like, hey, this shit is still happening and it's still happening on scene, and we need to be vigilant.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he like it showed that like it's not okay. You
Yeah,
know what he did, and no matter what intention he had, like he has an like excuse of like it had nothing to do with he was black. I just thought we're at Riptide, it's Harambe, blah 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 blah. But he just completely backtracked and then tried to say that I was racist, and so he kind of just like dug his own grave because I think that if he
yeah,
immediately just deleted it and explained himself and said sorry, everything would have been fine. But he did not do that. So
yeah. He just stood on it.
yeah,
That's why I
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
feel like at first I was like, bro, he must not know what he's doing. And then
Mm-hmm.
and then he was like, nah, like I think it's still up.
Yeah, it's still up. It's still up. It's insane that it's still up. That's like the craziest part to me, And like he still makes videos, like, and he's just like, yeah, like he showed me saying the C slur on Twitter in
Yeah,
2015 and was like, look at this, Justice is racist, and I'm like, oh yeah, man, yeah, whatever, you got me, you know. So it's like he's still going, but that's okay, you know.
dude. What do you think? Like, I think the melee scene has a lot of room to grow. Like, not only in black matters, but like in all like inclusive matters, especially I think in women. Like,
Yeah, oh yeah.
what do you think is that like? I mean, I don't think any of us are too qualified in answering it, but like, what do you think is a move that we can do as men to help uh, grow the scene in terms of our women? Because I feel like like you just
We
see the stuff
just
on Twitter that people are posting. Like, I mean, just really sick shit is happening in our
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah. We just need to be like we just need to treat women like the people that they are. They're
Yeah,
just people, just like me and you. Like
dude.
it's like actually so simple. It's literally just talk to them like they're human beings. You know what I mean? And I understand that if you're attracted to somebody, it is normal to want to, maybe pursue it, but you have to do it appropriately, and you
Yeah,
cannot be a creep. Like you can't be a creep. There's so many people that are like so weird about it, that say really weird things to girls in their DMs that are just really, really,
dude.
really odd and like confusing.
I just
So
don't. I like as a TO, it's something that like I'm vigilant about. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to have like the most inclusive spaces, and I just don't know like how. Like it just feels like I can't teach you this shit. Like you
no,
either
no.
respect women or you don't. Like I don't know
No,
what to
yeah,
tell
it's
you.
kind of
Like
insane. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, it's kind of insane. Yeah, it's a lot of people just like don't get it. I'm not saying that if you think that there's a connection between you and somebody, or that there could be, that you cannot pursue it. I'd say just do it appropriately.
yeah,
And if they show that they might not be interested, don't push that. Don't push your advances. You know what I mean? Because like naturally people connect to people. That's like something that happens, but you can't force it. And if they if they're clearly not into it, you need to be able to take the social cues to be like, okay, I need you back up. It's just so weird to just like, I don't know, like it's so weird how persistent some dudes are,
yeah.
and how like they like talk about women, like when a woman like comes on stream. Like I literally saw a girl play melee on stream, and then a guy literally typed in all caps just girl, and I'm like, dude,
I
come
know,
on, are
I
you
know.
serious? Yeah, it's like, come on,
Like
just don't
any
say anything.
literally anytime a girl comes on the stream, like one of my favorite Falcos is Magi, and like the shit that you just see on it's just crazy. Like what is
Yeah,
going on? I
yeah.
I think like one thing that I've definitely been implementing is like just one strike you're out type deal with a lot of that type
Mhm.
of shit because you just like these
Yeah.
like you is I'm not gonna risk the safety and the embetterment of like the the women who are at this tournament just for one person acting dumb. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So you're just
exactly.
gone.
It's
Yeah,
That's how I feel too. It's like this one person is doing. Why do we care so much about this one person who's causing so much harm?
yeah.
You know?
I truly don't understand. Like I feel like a lot, and I think like we see that a lot in with Twitter and stuff like that. People who don't know the player backing a player, like in
Yeah.
all things, like it does, like whether
Hmm.
it be small things that are stupid or big things like that which are stupid, and it's just it
Yeah.
turns into like a an echo chamber of just people just yelling. It's just crazy.
Hmm. Yeah, it's insane. It's literally so crazy. Yeah, it's a huge echo chamber, and it's insane the amount of people that will defend something just so irredeemable and undefendable.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Yeah, yeah, I totally get it. How do you like deal like I mean, you use Twitter, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Justice XYZ if you want to go
Thank you,
follow.
thank
Yeah,
you.
I got you, bro. Like, how do you just drown out all the bullshit? I mean, I'm sure that you just get a bunch of just crazy stuff after sets,
Yeah, I
whenever,
do.
you know?
Yeah, I do. I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. Like
Yeah.
I don't have a problem just blocking it out. I don't even block that many people. I literally just don't respond to them half the time, you know. There are some people that I do block, but like mainly because like I just really hate what they have to say. I know that's really like
Yeah.
I'm not on here because like to be polite. Like if I just don't want to see you, I don't want to see you. So
Yeah.
just like I don't know. Like I cannot get too pressed about like the person with like you literally the two follower burner that says something insane to me because what good is that going to be? It's not like it's somebody that I know or could have a conversation with. It's like somebody's burner. So
Yeah.
I just shrug it off, you know.
Yeah. I totally get that. I think like Twitter is like an awesome tool though. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah, of
it's like a
course.
very very good tool, but there's just so much stuff to sift through, you know what I'm saying?
Anybody can make an account, you know.
Yeah.
So a lot goes wrong sometimes.
Well, I'll just remind the chat if you have any questions. We have about 10 minutes left, so if you have any questions, post them into the chat. Another
Down to answer anything.
yeah, another question that I have. What do you think of like? Do you think that like I saw like a fiction tweet that said that you can like break down a lot of like mid level players into like three categories. Like, do you believe that type of stuff? Do you believe like a lot of mid tier like or not mid tier mid level players when you're playing them you can be like, yeah, all right, this and that. Like I can just do that.
To a degree, fiction speaks in complete absolutes.
Yeah.
So like, I think that it's not that black and white, but I do get like a good gauge of a type of player sometimes. You
Yeah.
know, like with certain players, I definitely get a gauge of what they what like they'll be like when I play against them. You know, or but like. It's really never that black and white. Sometimes I play against somebody, and I'm like, I've never played anybody that plays like this before, whether or not they're good or bad.
Yeah.
So I don't think my answer is like in the middle, you know.
Monkeys in the chat ask favorite combo vid and tech skill vid.
My favorite combo video is probably Volpes Aves 2, and then my favorite tech skill vid is I mean Perfect Dark is like tech skill and combo, so it's like one of those two,
Who do you think?
probably. Yeah.
Who do you think has the craziest tech skill? Like when you hear the words tech skill, who's the first that comes to mind?
Active or not active?
Give me both. Give me both.
So out of the non-active players, it's definitely Relno was insanely
So
technical. He
crazy.
still does stuff that I don't know how he did it. You
Yeah.
know, like I can't do anything that he can do.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and active SFOP is so technical. He is
Yeah.
so technical, and he's on controller like no Z jump, nothing, just like vanilla controller, and like he'll hit me with like quadruple shine, like turnaround grab, and like he barely ever messes up. It's so weird, you know,
Mm.
like that type of clean tech skill. He's really technical. Oh well, actually, the most technical like player that's good is Cody, definitely.
Yeah, I understand that. Yeah, I understand that. I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Cody
Like
for
he's not
sure.
doing like crazy flashy shit, but he hits his shit like all the
He
time.
plays with crazy confidence, and like
Yeah.
every time he goes for a ledge dash, it's like max delint now. You know, like he's crazy.
Yeah. Is he the best Fox you think right now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
easily. I think he's the best Fox. Yeah,
Yeah.
especially like versus Marth and stuff. He's so good.
Dude, he is so far and away like the best against Marth. It's so
Yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
it's untouchable. I learned so much from him. I was in the VIP room warming up Ploff for Noel, and then I just asked him questions about Fox Marth that I got to ask him in real life.
Yeah. ZR Acid asks, how did and Friends start? We talked about it a little bit, but if like, was it like a collective that started, or you just said, all right, I'm just naming the shit and Friends, let's go. We're gonna just post
So,
shit.
so it wasn't even so like at first the way it started was I just was doing another collab with O, who's a part of Team Seven, which is like a melee crew,
Yeah.
or like a combo video crew, and I was doing a collab with him, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool if I just collabed? I did a collab with like a bunch of players and called it Justice and Friends, and then so like it was gonna be me collabing with somebody in every single video, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I decided I was like, well, Actually, it would just be cooler if I broke it down into parts and everybody gets their own parts and I just put everybody individually on and promote them individually instead of putting myself in every single part. So then I just took out, I was like, what do I name it? And I was like, okay, let's just remove Justice and just put and friends because it's just a bunch of people. There's a bunch of my friends. And so we like put it all together. I put it all together and I started the first one. I started editing it on Video Editor, Windows Video Editor, and then I moved to DaVinci Resolve and slowly learned how to like actually edit like a person instead of through like a Windows app.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how it originally started, and then I just like started asking really good players to enter it.
Do you think that's gonna keep growing the field of players that you're at, like, or do you think that this is the group we're gonna ride it out? Like, what's the
Oh,
deal?
it's growing. I already have like talks behind the scenes of people who are going to be in the volume 3 and in future projects. You know, I just
Mm.
like can't leak too much of it because I want it to be a surprise. But in the next couple of months, I will definitely have like I will definitely have a list of who all is going to be in volume 3 out.
Word. Where are we gonna see you next? Where are your next tournaments up?
Collision probably.
Word.
Yeah,
What
collision.
what's the goals for that? You have any goals set in mind yet, or are you just gonna show up? What's the deal?
I don't think I have any goals yet, honestly. I think that usually closer to the event, I have an idea of what I want.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you got and friends coming. Any other big major? We gotta see you at the big house, right? Come, you gotta come through.
I really want to go to Big House this next time. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah. It looks like so much fun. It looks like so much fun. I need to go.
dude, it's the best tournament. I mean, I'm a Michigan boy, so I gotta say that. But yeah,
But yeah, yeah, yeah,
dude. Well, I think that's it. Thank you so much for coming on the
yeah,
inaugural
yeah, yeah.
podcast. I really appreciate you, homie. That was super
Yeah,
fun.
no, this was super fun. You had super interesting questions to ask.
Thank you, thank you. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Everyone's saying love in the chat. They were all appreciating it. So, thank you again.
Peace out, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. Have a good night, bro.
Yeah. You too.
Peace.
Peace out. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. That was the first ever. That was the first time I ever done a podcast or anything like that. I was sort of stumbling, but I hope you guys enjoyed the questions. They were just coming to me. You know what I mean? So like, uh, yeah. I mean, I'm hoping to do this more often with your guys' support. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a fantastic night. Next time I'll be streaming is probably tomorrow. I think I'm gonna have Negative on, and we're gonna just talk melee basically for a while. So, yeah, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who followed, subscribed. I really appreciate you. Shout out to www.newchallengers.net because I saw you from Nairobi. I wasn't ignoring the questions, homie. Just appreciate it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. You guys have a great night.